James, in all your 20 years as a coach, have you ever been part of a team like this one that's been in so many close games? I think in 8 of your 9 games, James, the issue's kind of been in doubt at some point in the fourth quarter. What's that high wire act been like for you and your staff, and what have you learned about your team that's had to kind of perform in this kind of environment every week?
It's awesome. I love it. I don't know if you guys remember the opening press conference when I got the job and I had this huge afro. That's gone now because of how the games have gone, but it's been fun. I think to me this is what you want to do. You want to find ways to win close games. We were able to do that early in the year. Then we had a couple games we didn't. Now we're getting back into that again. So I'm pleased with the guys. Like I said after the game on Saturday, it was the prettiest game I've ever seen because the guys stuck together. Our offense has been unbelievably supportive and appreciative of our defense. Our defense has been unbelievably supportive of our offense, and everybody kind of rallying on special teams. I thought on Saturday we were able to play a little bit more of a field position game because Daniel Pasquarello, I thought, punted better. And that's really how we needed to play the last, probably 3 or 4 weeks. So, getting that to be a factor in the game, I think, was really, really important. So, it's been interesting. I sure would love to have a little bit more breathing room in there, but I think these tough games and these emotional games, they build character, and that's really why we do this in the first place.
How you doing, James?
Awesome.
Great. You guys have had struggles, but you talked earlier, or last week rather, about red zone wrinkles. I think the QB draw may have been, I don't think I've seen that before this year, but what did you see on tape from that red zone series against Indiana before the field goal was blocked, and what do you guys have to do better to score more touchdowns in the red zone?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I've been kind of answering this question all year long. We got to run the ball better in the red zone. The answer is not really going to change. To me, that wasn't really a red zone issue. That was a goal line issue. I mean, we got down to the 1 yard line and couldn't punch it in. We got knocked back. What you have to do is you have to score with your man. So if you're blocking the defensive end, you got to block the defensive end in the end zone. If you're blocking the defensive tackle, you got to block the defensive tackle in the end zone. And you got to sustain those blocks, and then there's always going to be one guy unblocked that the running back has got to break a tackle or make miss. We weren't able to do that. We weren't able to do that, on Saturday. So I didn't really look at that necessarily as a red zone issue. That was more of a goal line issue in that specific circumstance. But to me, the answer is in the red zone is the same as it's been all year long. Is being able to run the ball. We also went back and watched some tape from last year and some of the things that was going on and that they were doing. And the interesting thing is I'm going to probably tell you something that you guys already know. Allen Robinson. I mean, there's a lot of plays where guys were covered and they threw the ball to Allen, and Allen went up and snatched it. In single coverage or double coverage. So. I think that's one of the things that we can do a better job of is just making plays, but running ball is going to be huge for us.
Hey, James, I'm wondering, following up on previous question, against Ohio State, even with the makeshift line and changes, it seemed like you guys were starting to hit a stride in the second half. You scored, 24 points in just a little over 2 quarters. Did you think you guys were on your way to putting some pieces together consistently wise on offense? And, I don't know about disappointed, but did you think you may be further along after that performance from where you are the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I still think we are, to be honest with you. I think, obviously, playing Ohio State, the whiteout, the emotion, all those types of things was helpful. I think the crowd had an impact in the game. I think the platform of the game had an impact. I don't want it to. I want us to play at the same high level week in and week out. But I'm not naive to the fact that I think that played a little bit of a factor in it. But we just got to eliminate. We can't have a penalty on first or second down. It's 2nd and 2, and we jump off sides. And now it's 3rd and 8 or whatever, 3rd and 12 or whatever it may be. We can't do those things. We can't have the turnovers. The turnovers have been really kind of our issue. Making great decisions with the ball and the way we're carrying the ball and protecting it. So things like that. I think we're really close. I mentioned that to you guys the other day. I mean, we watched film as a team of a number of plays that we're that close to making. You make those plays and things feel a lot different right now. So I understand the point that you're making, and I would agree with you to a degree. But I think in general we're a lot closer than maybe it seems. the way maybe it seems right now. I know it could probably be frustrating at times to watch, and I know everybody has the answers. If you do, please email them and specifically what they are and how they work. But I believe in our guys. I've been around this coaching staff for a long time. I've seen them break record after record after record running these schemes on offense, defense, and special teams. I believe in our players, and I'm hoping every single day as we continue to compete and stay positive that the tide would turn.
You mentioned just a minute ago about the success with the scheme and those kinds of things. Obviously, you're not the first coach to go through this. You won't be the last around the nation. But what are some of the difficulties, just in general, of playing guys who you didn't recruit? Because I know you've mentioned like the measurables before. And what are some of those challenges of getting people to fit into a scheme when you inherit players when you take over a program?
Yeah, I don't really think that's the issue here. I really don't. I think it's one thing if you're following a guy who ran the wishbone, or if you're following a guy that runs the spread and you want to run the wishbone, or you want to run a downhill power offense and they don't have a fullback in the program. It's all spread philosophy. So I think that's where the issue is the same. And I know people probably don't agree with this, but a lot of the schemes and a lot of the things that we're doing are similar. People can have different opinions on that, but I've watched the film and I've studied it. Is there a little bit different way of doing it? Is there knowing when to call certain things? Is there, playing to our strengths a little bit? Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that we could all be doing a better job, including myself. But I don't think that's the situation that we're in. You've seen places where a new head coach comes in and he's going to force his system in no matter what. I don't see us doing that. And I'm standing back and looking at this from a distance. I spend time on the defensive side of the ball. I spend time on the offensive side of the ball and special teams. I don't really see that's the issue. And for us, these are all our guys. From day one, the time we got the job, there's not this whole guys that you recruited and guys you didn't recruit. They're all our guys. And I feel like we have a staff to take advantage of the strengths and hide weaknesses.